Good day, Industrial Advisor listeners, and thank you for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, please do so by clicking subscribe wherever you podcast. Click the like button and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we put up new content. Leave us a comment about anything we discuss here today or general comments about the show. Now, let's get into it.
Welcome to our Industrial Advisors podcast. You have Bill Condon and Matt McGregor. And today we're doing a 5-minute Friday. And the topic is the history of clear heights in our market. And they've changed over the years.
Taller the better.
The taller the better.
Maybe.
Indeed.
Maybe.
It's interesting because when we started out, it seemed like, and this is 20 years ago, 24 was kind of, the best of the best.
For sure.
And so you would, you look in South Seattle, you'd have kind of 18 to 20 foot clear, and you go down to the Kent Valley, it'd be 24. And then all of a sudden 30 foot became kind of the norm as Sumner got built out, and then it's just gone up from there.
Yeah, and it was interesting too, because when it, back then it used to kind of go in 2-foot increments, because it was 22, 24, and then it came out with a few 26s before it shot by 4 feet, right? Then it was 30, and then for some reason 32, 36, 40, 42.
Yeah.
So I can't exactly understand why it goes either 2 or 4. It has probably something to do with the way racking is, I'm assuming.
Yeah, definitely does.
Anyway, yeah. Well, for the listener, we did a little research for clear height, and I kind of thought this, but still is the tallest building in the world is also the largest industrial building in the world. And Bill, drum roll.
Boeing in Everett.
Boeing in Everett. And fun fact, so first of all, 110 feet on the clear height.
Awesome.
And here's a statistic from CoStar. The entire Disneyland theme park could fit inside of this building with room to spare.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. I kind of knew this because when I was 18, a little fun fact for you, I worked in that building. So I worked in the mail room for not long, and so I would load up this mail truck on swing shift after school and go up there and go into that large facility for hours and hours and hours and deliver mail. That back when this was, dating myself, 1988.
Yeah, you're old.
That would produce one full completed, plane a day. So that was a 737, or back then 747 jumbo jet. One full plane a day came out of that building. The roll-up doors on that thing was enormous.
Yeah, that is impressive. Even
Yes.
when you drive by, it was like, wow. I remember as a kid just being like, that building is huge. And I wasn't even paying attention to buildings then. So if you look at our market, you look at the different submarkets, you look at like, okay, well, what would be the norm, right? So you go to South Seattle, you're probably 18 to 20 foot clear.
Yep.
You get down to the valley, Kent, Renton, Tukwila, it's more like 24.
That's right.
30 is kind of an outlier there. But then as you start getting into Sumner, Tacoma, Fife, you get a kind of a mix between that 24 to 32 with a lot of 30s, because a lot of that stuff was built, in the mid to late 2000s. But then now as you go into some of these newer markets like Frederickson, DuPont, and even further south, 36 to 40 is becoming the standard.
And depending on size, right, they're still building 32 if it's a building, under a couple 100,000 feet.
Yes.
I would certainly say 32 to 36 is our standard here. For whatever reason, New Jersey has always led that New Jersey Turnpike area all the way to Harrisburg, has led the clear height in the country by 3 or 4 years. So every time we go out there for a tour, you're kind of seeing what the rest of the country is going to see.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of the prefab warehouses out there, but they were doing 36 to 40 when we were doing on the West Coast kind of 30, 32. So they seem to be always a little bit ahead out there.
Yeah, and we've had tenants that are willing to pay more higher in rent because they can go to a 40-foot clear building, get another stack for their racking, and it pencils for them to pay more of a show rate because they can go up.
That's right.
So certainly that's the case. So wrapping it up, what do you think the future looks like from a clear height standpoint?
Well, it's interesting because, one thing that tenants need to be aware of is, yes, you can always buy more material handling to take advantage of clear height, but it's a combination of the product, because if you get too far away from the sprinkler heads, depending on the product, now you got to go in rack,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and
Mm-hmm.
that's always been the problem with utilizing clear height is it's a combination of how quickly can that water get to the product, because then it gets more expensive. It doesn't get cheaper, right? Do I think suddenly, the average building at the end of our career down the road is going to be 100 feet? I don't, right? I think you have to mez deck and then do it again. So my guess is, we're probably topping out for single-story warehouses around 40.
Yeah.
Just because the material handling equipment can only get so advanced.
If you were building, last question, if you were building a 500,000 footer at our market, say Frederickson today, you going 36 or you going 40?
500?
Yeah.
I'm going 36.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I'm going to go 36. Above 500, I'm going to 40.
All right, so if it was like 505,000 feet, you'd be like 40 foot clear.
I think that line is 595.
Yeah. No, it's a fascinating topic, though, and just how it's evolved over the years, the clear height, what tenants are willing to pay, if it works for them to go up. So it'd be fun to watch. So thank you for listening to our 5-Minute Friday on Clear Heights.
Thank you very much.